In this video, you will receive step-by-step instructions on how to navigate through the City of Albany's Civil Service Portal. More specifically, it will show you how to submit an application to prove your eligibility to take the civil service test that would qualify you to be employed as a library clerk at the Albany Public Library. Sounds complicated, right? But we're hoping this video will help guide you through the process of applying for the library clerk exam, help you find study materials, and ultimately get your name on the list that the library uses when filling open positions. Let's get started. From the Albany Public Library's website, albanypubliclibrary.org, if you go over to the About section and go down to Employment and Volunteering, you will see information about working at the Albany Public Library. You'll also see current openings and information about the continuous recruitment exam for the library clerk. If you click on here, it'll bring you to the City of Albany's Civil Service Portal. You can also find this portal by going onto Google and typing in Albany, City of Albany Civil Service. It's usually the first link at the top. If I scroll down here, I'm going to go to Continuous Recruitment Exams, and we're going to find the Library Clerk exam. Your first step would be hitting Apply. Now you're going to get this pop-up window with a disclaimer telling you that it costs $20, non-refundable, to take the exam. If you qualify for the waiver, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, you'll be able to indicate that later, but for now, just click Agree. From here, if you already have a civil service account, you can type in your username or email and password. You can also find your lost passwords if you've forgotten. However, I'm going to take you through registering a new account. So first things first, we're going to put in our email. And I'm just going to put in some dummy information to show you guys. Create the account. Okay. So they're going to send you an activation key, which means when you're applying for this, you want to make sure you're using an email account that you have access to. I'm going to navigate over to my email now and check and make sure I have that activation key code, and I'm going to copy and paste it, and I'm going to put it in that box that they have provided. And then hit submit. So the only indication that your account is currently active is this "You are not logged in" button on the top. If you click that, it'll take you back to that login or register page we were just on, and you'll be able to put your information back in and log into your account. And I'm going to do that now. Okay, I am successfully logged in. There's a spot for you to click and edit your account, change your password, or you could click here to see current opportunities. So this one will show you a lot of what's available in Albany right now. There are tests you can apply for, or you could say current exams, and that will take you back to the page we were looking at before, which had the library clerk exam on here. So from here, you're going to hit apply again. The disclaimer is going to pop up again. letting you know that there's the $20 exam fee that's non-refundable. Again, we're going to talk about the waiver a little later. Click agree. And this is going to take you to, oh, it looks like I already started this exam, so I'm going to click to view it. It's going to take you to the minimum qualifications page. Now, it's important to go through this because right now you're telling whether or not you're qualified for this test. So for our library clerk exam, you must possess a high school diploma or an equivalency. You must have 1 year of general clerical experience after graduation or satisfactory completion of 30 credits at a recognized college or business school. So take a minute and read through this, but the biggies would be the clerical experience, the 30 credits of college, making sure you have a high school or equivalency diploma, and then there is a residency requirement for this exam. An applicant for competitive examinations must be a legal resident on the date of the examination and must have a legal resident in the city of Albany for at least 30 days immediately preceding the date of the examination. So from here, if you qualify, if you fit all those requirements, you can say yes. If you've been a permanent legal resident of the city of Albany for 30 continuous days, click yes. And then you're going to hit save and continue. So from here, we've got some basic information that we're going to type in. You might recognize the library's number here. We're going to put in our street address. Okay, so now that that's all filled out, we're going to type in our permanent residence. So we're going to say that we live in Albany. You would put the amount of years and amount of months. And then also you can do that for the county as well. Try to be as accurate as possible. Has your permanent legal residence been in the city of Albany for 30 continuous days, up and including the exam appointment date? We're going to say yes. If no, indicate your permanent legal residence. So if you put a residence outside of the city of Albany, you're going to get into a situation where it tells you you're not qualified. Next, we have veterans information. Have you ever served in the U.S. Armed Forces? These ones should be pretty straightforward, hopefully, to answer. Child of a firefighter. All of these are ones that you'll see on other exams that might make a difference for your appointment, but don't necessarily here. So just answer the questions as they come up because they're required. If you see that little red asterisk, are you under 18? We're going to say no. Are you a citizen of the United States? Okay. Be sure to read all of these. For example, if no, it gives you an option to check another box. Do you need any special accommodations due to disability? Do you require any special accommodations due to religious observance? Now, this one's important if you do have, for example, specific days of the week that you cannot take the test because of religious observance or potentially times of day that might not work for you. Definitely put them down in this remarks box. Have you been dismissed from employment for disciplinary reasons? Are you currently or have you previously been employed by the city of Albany? I'm just going to go with no. And if yes, it allows you to have a remarks area so you can say other positions you've had. This box is really good if you were doing multiple exams. Like let's say, you were looking at the library clerk one and you noticed another exam that you liked. You could put your other exam dates in here with your exam numbers, and I believe that they'll call you and make sure that your tests are either on the same day, around the same time, because you do get an appointment. So it's a good idea to use this if you want to do multiple exams just to save yourself time going down to City Hall. I hit save and continue. So this next section covers your education and your qualifying experience. So this one's an important one to take your time with. So our first part is education, and it says, have you graduated from high school? Put yes, and if yes, name of school. So I'm going to put Albany High. We'll say highest grade completed. If you're not a high school graduate, do you have a high school equivalency diploma? So you can put your GED information here and make sure that you have all of the information they're asking, including year and number of issue. Now, for the exam, if you remember, you can either qualify by having those 30 college credits or by having work experience. So if you don't have the college education credits, the 30 credits, in order to qualify, you can skip this step. If you'll notice, it doesn't have any of those red asterisks. So you can just have your high school diploma or equivalency, and you can hit save and continue. That will take you to the next part, which for this one, you don't need a driver's license. So you can skip this. Again, it doesn't say it's required. For the library clerk position, we don't require you to have one. However, if you have a professional license and certification that would help you with this job that shows any sort of clerical experience, definitely put it below here. Hit save and continue. So you'll see we have experience here. Because we skipped the section on college information, we're going to want to fill this section out. You're going to want to do one or the other. You don't have to do both. You can do both if you want to. But we need to at least show that we've had clerical experience. So I'm going to say that I worked at the Guilderland Public Library because I could get clerical experience there. So when you do that, you're going to put in all the information you normally would on a job application, the address, your supervisor's name, when you were employed to, and then be as thorough as possible. It does give you the opportunity to put more than one job because you're trying to prove that you have the clerical experience required. Just fill it out as fully as possible. Clerical experience can be a bunch of different things. For example, back when I took the test, I worked as a bank teller. And that got me into the right, requirement level in order to take the exam. So make sure you fill this one out fully and then hit save and continue. Oops, probably should delete that out. Okay, now we have a questionnaire. Responses to this section are voluntary and collected for statistical and record-keeping purposes only, if you see down here. They'll be not shown on the official selecting an applicant for a position or to anyone who can affect your application. So all of these you'd fill out if you wish to. Okay. For attachments, you can, like, for example, if you said that you had one of those certifications that you thought would be useful for the position, you can upload, if there's a certificate you have for that to here. If we did require a license, you could put it there, but for this exam, you don't need to do anything. Save and continue again. Okay, so this is your last stop. You're going to check the box to say that under, penalties of perjury, all the statements you've made in this application are correct. So this is telling you there is a fee due of $20 for this exam, and then you can continue with payment to pay online, or you may apply for a waiver by selecting the waiver checkbox. So if you want that waiver, you would check this box, and here's the fee waiver information. You qualify if you are a veteran who's never requested an exam fee waiver on the basis of veteran status. You graduated from high school in Albany or obtained your high school equivalency diploma while a City of Albany resident. So you put your graduation date. You can also qualify if you are unemployed and are primarily responsible for the support of your household. It also gives you more information to say whether or not you're eligible for things like Medicaid, SSI, if you receive public assistance. So go through and check anything that applies. To keep things straightforward, I'm going to say that I'm a veteran so that I don't have to fill out all the sections, so I can show you the rest of this application. By checking the box, you're saying you read everything, that you qualify, and then you're going to hit submit application. Once you've submitted your application for the library clerk exam, you will be contacted by City Hall in order to schedule your exam date and time. Just make sure you keep an eye on your email and any phone messages that you might receive from them. In order to prepare yourself for the exam, we suggest navigating to this PDF. This is something we can pull up at a branch for you if you come in asking for it, but I put the link here if you want to type it in. Just make sure you get the underscores that are here. This will take you to a PDF for the guide to the written test for entry-level clerical series. So we suggest that you go through and take this little practice test. It's going to show you the different types of questions that you might have on here. A lot of this exam is attention to detail. You're going to get a lot of sequences of letters that you might have to alphabetize. You're also going to get sequences of numbers. The best suggestion that we can give you for taking this exam is taking your time. Go through it very slowly. They give you a decent amount of time to do it. Make sure that you bring a calculator that is allowed. They probably will not let you use your phone calculator, so you definitely want to have just a basic calculator with you. When I took this test, I made sure that I went through and I took it once, gave myself a minute, and then I went back through it a second time just to make sure I didn't, have any little mistakes here and there, because again, it is very based on attention to detail. This is something, like I said before, we can print off at our locations and make sure that you get a copy of if you would like it. The other thing I would say is if you're struggling to fill out the application or get through the portal, stop by one of your local branches. Our staff is more than happy to help you get through that portal and get yourself onto the next stage that you'll need to take the test, print out the guide for you, anything that you might need in order to get yourself prepared for this test. We're very willing to help. We very much appreciate when our community comes in looking for jobs and we can find a way to get them to that job. And it's even better if it's with our organization. So stop on by, ask for more information. We'll make sure that we get you all of the test supplies that you might, need in order to feel comfortable taking the exam. And we look forward to working with you.